Hey guys, Jack here. The guy with a face for radio and a voice for text. Finding the best web host for your website can be a tricky and challenging task. With a plethora of providers to choose from, how do you know which is best for you? Well, I am thrilled to provide you with this video to help you out. As WordPress website owners, we rely on our web host. It's our foundation. And when they have issues, it costs us money. In the past, I have had countless web hosting headaches. And at the end of the day, no web hosting company is 100% perfect. But what really matters is that any issues are fixed quickly and the security is top-notch. And then there's performance. We need blazing fast servers that don't buckle and fold under pressure when a handful of people are viewing our sites at the same time. Let me back up here and explain why fast hosting is important. If you're serious about your website, you need a web host that is capable of handling high volumes of traffic. For sure, there is plenty of cheap-ass budget web hosting on the market today and they're super cost-effective. How a lot of these types of web hosts do business and treat their customers like you and I is bloody terrible, and that is being nice. They offer you unlimited plans. Bullshit, they do. This in itself is a crock of shit once you have read the fine print. They are indeed seriously limited. Having been involved in online business since 2008, I have worked with my fair share of hosting companies. They jam-pack as many customers into each server as they can without considering the performance. So, when a shitload of visitors lands on your site, the page load times skyrocket and the user experience for your visitor or customer sucks. With just a 1-second delay in page load times, this will decrease your page views by 11%. That means over 1/10 of your customers will bounce for every second your site is still loading. A 1-second delay in page load time yields 11% fewer page views, 16% decrease in customer satisfaction and 7% loss in conversions. A few extra seconds could have a huge impact on your ability to engage visitors and make sales. This means that having a fast site is essential, not just for ranking well with Google, but for keeping your bottom line profits high. How website speed optimization influences conversions. Slow speeds kills conversions. In fact, 47% of consumers expect websites to load in 2 seconds or less, and 40% will abandon a page that takes 3 or more seconds. This means that if your site takes more than 3 seconds to load, you lose almost half of your visitors before they even arrive on your site. That alone is a huge blow to your potential conversions. And for the visitors that decide to stick around, your slow load times can deter them from returning in the future. In one survey, 79% of customers said they would not return to a site with poor performance. Think about it, what do you do when a page you want takes forever to load? You bounce. Why? Because it annoys the shit out of you. And that is exactly how your customers are thinking too when that happens. And chances are just like you, they will never return. Over the years I have seen and learned many painful lessons about web hosting during that time. And I want this video to help you so you don't go through the same crap I did. My universal experience has generally ranged from disappointment to utter despair. The reasons for my frustration generally revolved around these common issues. Seemingly cheap hosting with unlimited bandwidth that collapsed when too much traffic came to my website. A $2 a month hosting is only possible with ancient low-spec servers that are massively overloaded with websites. When you read the actual terms of service of such companies, the promise of unlimited bandwidth and unlimited storage is usually a massive con as said above. Lack of live 24/7 support. Lack of knowledgeable support. Slow server performance. Lack of flexibility and features. Complex hosting admin areas designed for computer science postgraduates, not real non-technical folks like us. So to save you all the pain, suffering, bullshit and expense that I have endured over the years, I've put together this video to help you out and to cut through all the crap and noise. Please note, I never recommend products I don't use or trust myself. Blogging is a serious business and one fake review can ruin someone's business or cost them money. Unlike other sites that promote the crap out of everything under the sun just for the commissions, you will be glad to know that we're not one of those sites. You won't see me promoting any Hostgator on this site ever. In fact, I've got a negative review about them to make my readers aware of the scam. This video will give you a more understanding of what to look for in a website host and give you our top recommended web hosting vendor and an overview of why. While we use a lot of factors when choosing a web hosting and when writing our hosting reviews. Things like security, support, ease of use, speed, key features. Support, speed, and security are the 3 major ones we consider when choosing a web hosting provider. Here are some key pointers you should always keep in mind when choosing a web host. Firstly, let's talk about pricing. Most of the web hostings companies are competing against each other on price. When buying a web host, some people just look for the cheapest they can get. This is fine when first starting out. While there are some good cost-effective website hostings on the market, going with the absolute cheapest hosting you can find isn't the best idea. And here's why. Generally speaking, the bottom of the barrel budget price hosting plans normally comes with the same quality customer support, performance, and security. Not to mention all the upsells you get hit with. Now let us look at the performance. This is critical as it can greatly add to the success of your online project or make it a complete flop. It's important that you keep an eye on speed and uptime guarantee. Speed is vital. Speed has been now included as a ranking factor by Google. Also, take note of the type of storage being used. Remember that solid-state drive SSD is always faster compared to the traditional old hamster hard disk drive HDD. The uptime guarantee is another thing you need to take into consideration. Always check to see what the guaranteed uptime is like. This is normally be noted in percentages, and the closer to 100% it is, the better it is. The lower the percentage is, the more chance your website will be offline. This will affect your customer user experiences. You will never get a vendor to guarantee 100%. Another very important factor to consider when looking for hosting is security. The protection of your most important information online should always be a top priority by the web host. This includes protection from both physical and software malicious attacks. Attacks from viruses, hackers, trojans, worms and spiders. Protection from these are a must. Now I'm going to highlight how important it is on backups and SSL certificates. Backups: you'll need to find out if the vendor does any backups at all. If they do, what are the terms? All web hosting providers have different times when they carry out backups, if they even offer this most important feature. Truth be known, I wouldn't choose a provider that didn't carry out regular backups. All good vendors will do a site backup daily, weekly, nightly or monthly. Also, see if the backups are done automatically or manually. In 2018, Google announced that websites without an SSL certificate will be considered unsafe. They will place a warning and alerting your visitors and customers that they might be at risk if they continue using your site. So when deciding on your host, make sure SSL certificates are included. Note, most reputable vendors offer free SSL certificates these days from Let's Encrypt free SSL certificates, so there should be no need or reason to be charged for one. Also, you need to take into account beginner and user-friendly. Considering that only a small portion of the world's population are fluent with programming languages and coding. Unless you are either one of them, the importance for you to look out for a provider with easy-to-use interface and tools for your hosting is a must. These include features like user-friendly control panels, drag-and-drop website builders and one-click app installers, among others. And lastly, you're gonna want to worry about support. As for support, you'll need to know that you and your particular adventure are in good hands. Response time is key, especially if you're an international customer, but it's also important to note that if they have different customer support channels available. Live chat, email and phone are the main 3 channels. Make sure you have 24/7 support. So who is the best web hosting on the market? Keep watching to find out who the best hosting company is based on the rate on pricing, support, speed, and ease of use. We use and recommend WPX Hosting for all our most valuable websites, and you are about to find out why. Our number 1 choice. WPX Hosting. WPX Hosting has fast become noted as being one of the best and fastest web hosting companies that have hit the market in recent years, and you are just about to find out why. Terry Kyle, co-founder and SEO guru who has his own SEO business services after many years struggling to house his own sites with consistent speeds, services and uptimes, finally decided he has had enough of the bullshit and crap that is on offer and decided to build his own. As a pioneer in the industry, Terry Kyle and Georgi Petrov developed WPX Hosting back in 2013 with 3 things in mind. Must be easy to use for non-tech savvies. To provide you with superior page load speed. Have real 24/7 365 days of the year live chat or ticket support. WPX Hosting is the fastest WordPress host and with world-class support around the clock. They are voted number 1 on G2 Crowd, and WPX Hosting is the number 1 most trusted hosting on Trustpilot. Out of a total of 161 hosting companies, FYI, Hostgator came last, Bluehost came 158th and GoDaddy came 143rd. Also is the only hosting service that is recommended by Shane from Thrive Themes. WPX Cloud, powerful CDN, free. WPX Cloud is the world's fastest CDN service, built from the ground up by WPX Hosting to help users speed up their sites. With consistently average load times of 459 milliseconds, you can see why they have become the go-to for web hosting for speed. Instead of upselling users to get a premium third-party CDN for an extra charge, WPX built WPX Cloud themselves and offer it to all their users across all the plans for free. You won't need any extra CDN services like Max CDN. Here are other benefits of WPX Cloud. The team regularly tweaks and improves the CDN to provide you with better speed. Currently it shows 50% to 320% speed improvements depending on site and resources. 100% free of charge for new and existing users. WPX Cloud can handle up to 3 times more simultaneous traffic. 20+ worldwide locations and expanding, bringing smooth, fast loading no matter where your visitors are in the world. Speed, additional security, and free upgrade to WPX Cloud 2.0, to name a few. WPX Hosting Security. Free malware scans and enterprise-level DDoS protection. Because of how popular WordPress is, it's a popular target for hackers and other malicious actors around the world. Keeping your site safe and secure can be tough, especially if you're not a technical user. But with WPX Hosting, you can rest easy because WPX Hosting handles most of your site's security for you. You get application firewalls. These filter most bad actors before they even get a chance to do something. Daily malware scans. If something gets through the firewall, the malware scan will pick it up. DDoS protection via encapsula. This protects your site from a distributed denial of service attack, a common tactic. This is a free service with WPX Hosting, otherwise can cost you upwards of $299 per month with other vendors. Beyond those proactive security measures, WPX Hosting also offers free malware removal if anything shows up on the malware scans. As far as I know, WPX Hosting is still the only hosting company that offers free site cleanup and restoration if your site gets hacked. Basically, as long as you keep your WordPress username and password secure, WPX Hosting handles pretty much everything else. 3. WPX Customer Service. Live chat responds within 28 seconds. The main point of investing in a better host is to take the headache off your head and give it to someone who knows more about it. That way you get to focus on what you do best, i.e., your business. Right from asking for a custom backup done, to setting up a redirect code or an issue with your site, WPX Hosting has got your back. The customer service feels like you've got a dedicated professional team member sitting right at your desk. Just ask and you get a response. Based on independently verified data from live chat, WPX Hosting responds in under 28 seconds on average. Yeah, when you send a message, you get a response in under 30 seconds. Beyond that, they also offer a fixed-for-you guarantee. Basically, if your site ever stops working, they will fix it for you, without making you run through the troubleshooting steps yourself like some hosts do. Of course, this only applies to hosting issues. 99.95% uptime guarantee, so your site is always available. Every second that your website is down means lost potential. And when it comes to uptime, the little things matter. Most hosts offer a 99.9% uptime guarantee. WPX Hosting offers a 99.95% guarantee. Does that extra 0.05% matter? Yes. It might seem small, but it's a big difference. Let's do the math. On average, there are about 43,200 minutes in a month. With another host's 99.9% uptime guarantee, the maximum amount of time your site can be down in a month is approximately 432 minutes. With WPX's 99.95% uptime guarantee, the maximum amount of time your site can be down in a month is approximately 216 minutes. That means a generic 99.9% uptime guarantee can end up costing you an extra 3.5 hours of downtime per month. Doesn't seem like such a small difference now, does it? WPX Hosting offers unlimited free site migrations. If you're currently hosting somewhere else, you'll need a way to get your existing WordPress sites onto WPX Hosting. Like a lot of hosts, WPX Hosting offers free migrations. But here's what's noteworthy about WPX Hosting's migration service. WPX Hosting offers free unlimited site migrations. Most other hosts limit you to 1 or 2 migrations or even charge you per site, so this is generous and really helpful if you have a lot of sites. Side note, punch into Google Site Migration Transfer Cost and this is the result. A hosting transfer will normally cost around $150 to $400, depending on the size of your website or blog. The cost varies based on the number of images, files, and plugins. Plus, as I always say, it's good to get help outsourced so you can use those hours saved to grow your business. Legacy pricing, no price increase when you renew. Last but not least, WPX Hosting doesn't play games with its prices. A lot of hosts will sucker you in with a super low price, and once the honeymoon is over you get hit with the real price. They jack up the price, usually to double where it started and even some are tripled. With WPX Hosting, what you see is what you pay. There are no games, or it's clear-cut and simple. Speaking of price, WPX Hosting currently offers 3 plans. For each plan, you can either pay your hosting bills monthly not recommended, or you can get 2 months free for paying a year up front recommended. Also, by clicking on the link below in the description, you can get special coupon code to get 25% off your first month's trial. Backed by their 30-day money-back guarantee, you can see why it's a no-brainer. All the plans include all of the features I showed you above. The only difference is in the number of websites you can host, how much storage space you have, how much bandwidth you get. Personally, I use the business plan. WPX Hosting cons: just consider this. Like I said at the beginning, the fact that I actually host all our money sites at WPX Hosting means that I don't see many cons. The only reason I might say WPX Hosting isn't for you is the price. It's not that WPX Hosting is overpriced. It's just that, depending on your needs, WPX Hosting might be too much host for you. Personally, I think it's worth it to pay for the great performance and time-saving features like automatic backups, staging, etc. Number 2. Siteground. Siteground is a popular shared hosting provider that offers its users multiple different hosting options. It is also the only other web hosting that we use and recommend outside of WPX Hosting. Siteground is ideal for those who are on a budget, just need a great hosting for their website. The options include WordPress hosting, cloud hosting, and even dedicated servers. We only recommend Siteground for the shared hosting option, as the cloud and dedicated plans are way too expensive and complicated for the average webmaster like you and me. We've been monitoring Siteground's cheapest startup shared plan for over 2 years now. We paid for a shared hosting account, set up a live test site, and have been closely tracking their performance with a third-party tool to provide this unbiased, transparent review. Overall, Siteground ranks near the top of all web hosting companies for both uptime 99.99% and speed 713 milliseconds. Their customer support team is knowledgeable, fast, and friendly. All plans come with a CDN, SSL certificate, and email accounts. Good performance 99.99% uptime in last 16 months. All of our hosting reviews are based on at least 16 months of actual statistics and raw data. Siteground's uptime performance has been nearly perfect over that time. Their 99.99% average puts them among the most reliable hosts we've reviewed, 32 and counting. Reliable uptime like this keeps website visitors happy. But more importantly, it means your site is almost guaranteed to be working around the clock, so you won't miss out when your customers want to make a purchase, either. Above average load time, 713 milliseconds. Site speed is easily the second most critical factor when choosing a host. For starters, research by Google shows that 53% of people will leave if your pages don't load within 3 seconds. Furthermore, you can't do much to fix a slow host. You might be able to compress images to lighten their weight. You might be able to load them through a CDN to take some pressure off your server. But once a slow host? Always a slow host. Fortunately, you don't have to worry about that with Siteground. Its above average loading time of 713 milliseconds isn't the fastest we've seen, but it does place Siteground near the top 10 at speed. Good customer support experience. We've been monitoring Siteground for over 2 years now in total, and we've never had any major issues with their support. They provide a knowledge base for customers to find their own quick answers. Otherwise, you can call in over the phone or use the 24/7 live chat. For this latest test, we opted for the live chat option, and we were connected with Vladislav in less than a minute. Unlike other hosts, there was no noticeable delay in answers. So it seemed like he knew what he was talking about and didn't have to look up answers each time we sent over a new question. 99.9% uptime guarantee. Remember that solid 99.99% uptime average? Well, there's a reason Siteground doesn't falter here. It would cost them a lot of money. Often, when you dig into a web host's terms of service, there's only bad news buried in the fine print. Siteground surprised us in a good way. Under their service level agreement, they guarantee network uptime of 99.9% on an annual basis. If they ever dip below that threshold, you will get compensated with 3 months of hosting. Free site migration for one website. Whenever we see web hosts come out with a DIY migration option, it makes us a little anxious. That's because most of them aren't great, and they end up putting more burden on the customer. Siteground might be the exception to this rule, though. They've created a free WordPress migration plugin that you can upload to any site. There aren't any long and boring walkthroughs, either. You simply generate a token from inside your Siteground hosting account, and the plugin will quickly help do the heavy lifting. Yes, it still requires you to do a little work. But the good news is that you can migrate as many websites as you want with this option. In comparison, some hosts that offer free migrations cap it after only a few, forcing you to pay after a certain point. If you'd rather have some professional, hands-on help, Siteground will throw in the free service on their higher tier plans. Grow big and up. If you exceed the limits on each plan, they charge a nominal fee of $30 for each additional site, SSL certificate and content delivery network (CDN). Google Chrome, the most popular web browser in the world by a wide margin, has started actively warning people if the site they're trying to reach doesn't have an SSL certificate set up. SSL helps to protect any information sent back and forth between the user's device and the website, including personal details like IP addresses or credit card numbers. If left unsecured, hackers and others could easily intercept this information. So Chrome is looking out for web users' best interest here. In other words, that basically makes SSL certificates a requirement on all websites today. And thankfully, Siteground throws these in for free on all plans. The other bit of good news comes in the form of a free Cloudflare CDN content delivery network. CDN stores large files, like images, on many servers in different locations around the globe. This helps to make sure that the files are stored as close as possible to site visitors, making them faster to access. Siteground has servers spread out over 3 continents, which helps to keep loading times fast and provide a good customer experience. 30-day money-back guarantee. Siteground features a full 30-day money-back guarantee on all shared hosting plans. In comparison, their cloud, VPS, and dedicated hosting plans only come with a 15-day refund. Like many other hosts, domain name fees and any other extras are usually not refunded. And this refund policy only applies to brand new customers. So you can't get refunds on renewal plans. Pricing. Cons. High renewal rates. Siteground's cheapest plan, Startup, features a low $3.95 per month advertised price on their website. This deal looks a little too good to be true because it is. Almost every web host we've reviewed to date uses the same trick. They catch your attention with a low introductory rate, only to double or even triple the price when it's time to renew. For example, that $3.95 per month rate jumps up to $11.95 when you renew. Siteground's other plans hike up to $19.95 and $34.95 per month respectively. The best solution to this is to lock in the longest term possible, 36 months on Siteground, to take advantage of that low rate for as long as you can. Rounding it up. If you want the Ferrari of web hosting, you will never get anything better than WPX Hosting for its lightning speeds and superior support. As for shared hosting, you won't go wrong using Siteground. So, guys, thanks for watching and hope we have to give you more insight when choosing your web hosting provider. I hope it has helped or answered any questions you may have had and to help you to make a better buying decision.